guys, how's it going? Alright, now this is part 2 of Nay's Postie bike. Of course someone's rocking up as we're starting the video as per usual. Now you know that we got the bearings done on the front wheel, which worked a bloody treat, as you would have saw in just that last part of part 1. Nay's just going to start this up so that you can see...
She's going to try.
Yeah.
She has no power.
There we go. Beautiful. So you can hear the noise that we can hear, and then we're going to have we're going to adjust those tappets, or the valve clearance. So I'll bring you over. So you can hear that real squeaky noise. We can't really locate whereabouts it is. So I don't know if it's something in the engine or whether it's maybe, I don't know, something moving against something else. Anyway, I don't know if that noise will actually pick up in your speakers. So, but thought we'd give it a shot anyway. All right, so now we'll have a look at taking these tappets off, or adjusting the tappets. Alright guys, so to check the valve clearance, I know I keep saying tappets, check the tappets. I think the correct thing to say is check the valve clearance. Basically there's 2 of them that you've got to check, and I think they both have their own clearance that you've got to specify in it. Anyway, the intake one is on the top, so we just undo that, and then we've got one down there which is your outtake, your exhaust one. So we'll basically have to take these 2 things off, and then to get that aligned up. Now if you're into posties or motorbikes, you kind of like know what I'm trying to bloody say. I'm not very good at explaining stuff. In here we've got to take this hole out, and the one up the top. In here is so that we can turn the flywheel around to get, there's a T mark which you'll see in your manual, that we've got to line up so that we know that we're checking the clearances, because the tappets actually move up and down like that. So we've got to have it in the right position to check that measurement. Alright, so to do, there's a little pro tip that I learned from the last one on Charlie. This top one thing here is really hard to bloody open, and I ended up mangling it quite a lot before getting it open, or before working out how to do it. All you need is a screwdriver, a fairly thick one, big as you can get it, that's going to fit in here. But don't keep trying to, if you can't do it with this, don't keep trying to do it that way. Grab a hammer, go to the top part of it, make sure you're in there and you've got a really good bite, and then just tap it like that. Now obviously I've already done this on this particular one, but you can give it a really good whacking and then alternate down to the bottom and do it, and eventually it'll just go boop and it gives way. So now I can just get in here and turn that out. I've actually seen a lot of people asking that question about buggerizing that screw thing up. This one down the bottom is really easy. If it's not, do the same thing that you did for the top. Basically just undo that. That one comes out. And then just grab a socket for the top. Oh. Now if this looks a little bit easy for me to take them, I've actually already taken these off, and then I'll put them all back on so I could start the postie bike for you guys to hear that noise. So as you know, if you've ever watched some of my bloody videos, sometimes shit is just hard, but persevere with it. So we actually we drained the oil on this and put new stuff in it. The oil that I put in it was, I'll go and grab the tin. You might notice that it's leaking it's leaked out a bit of oil. It's only because it was just started and the oil didn't have it long enough to drain back down. Normally it won't leak oil when you take that one out. So the oil that I'm putting in it is Shell 20W50. I think you can, here in Australia for our temperature, you know, you most probably get away with 15W40, but this is what I ran in Charlie, and you know, it rode all the way up to the back of Bert. It just day after day, all day, and never gave me any problems. So I'm just sticking with that same oil. You know, you can go with a maximum, which is, you know, really shit hot oil, but in a Postie bike, it's just a waste. It will never need, you know, stuff like that. These things are built to run on, you know, even, you know, supermarket grade bloody oil, I suppose. But when I get onto something, I like to stick with it, and that's why I've stuck with the same oil that I used in Charlie. We'll do the same thing for this one. All right, okay, enough crapping on about that. So I've got to align all this stuff up, and basically we've got to get a socket in there, and we turn it until we meet this thing here. I'm not going to show it because it's going to be too hard. Basically, when you look in your manual, you'll see that it has the diagram on why you're doing it, and then we'll just get a feeler in there, check our points, make sure it's all right. Once it's done, we just put it all back together, start it up, and see if that noise is gone, or if it's quietened it down a little bit, and go from there. Okay guys, so we've just found this little bloody T thing. I'm going to see if I can show you what it looks like. So basically we're using this, and we're turning it counterclockwise, and if we go in, oh hang on, sorry about this, I'll see if we can zoom in on it. So yeah, you can just see, zoom in a bit more. Oh, we're losing focus. Sorry guys. Why does it go in? It's hard to know whether you can see it on this little screen that I'm looking at, but there you go. So that's what we've got to line up. Come back out. But there are two cycles. So as we're going around, you see the T. Then once you see that T, what you've got to do is come over to the tappets over here. If you take that light off, no? Yeah, that's better. When you have that T lined up, and then you come over here and fill these. Now at the moment these are I can just wriggle it. Both of them are the same. Now when I had it around when I had it in the wrong spot, I tried to move these and they just would not budge. So when you can feel it moving, that's when you know you got it right. So now we've got to get a set of feelers, find out what the gap is supposed to be, and make sure it's correct, and if it's not, we've then got to adjust it. Cool. Alright guys, so I've gone and found my little feeler gauge set, and I've found out that, if you see if you can read that, so both the intake and the exhaust valve, whatever you want to call it, intake, outtake is what I say, is exactly the same. So as per the manual, that's what it is. So I've found the feeler set, which I'll just show you here. I'm going to show you two. Hopefully you can read that. So that one's the correct one, and that's the next biggest one after that one. So the idea is that one will fit through or between, and this one shouldn't fit, which I've just done it, and they seem to be exactly where they're supposed to be, or the clearance is exactly what it should be. I'll just bring it closer, and just for the sake of it, you can just see me doing it. Alright, so this job is a lot easier on a Postie bike than any other bloody bike, because they're so easy to get to. So this is the one that's got to go through. So I've actually bent these a little bit to make it easier. So I just go in between, down below there, and there you go, just straight in. I can just feel it, you know, kind of like grabbing, or I can just feel it. You can, I don't know how you pronounce that. Now get that next biggest one that I've got, and I try and put that one in, and I just can't get it in. It just gets to the edge, and then that's it. And the bottom one is exactly the same. So there you go. Checking the valve clearance on a Postie bike is pretty bloody easy. Just take your time. You know, I'm no expert, so you know, always double check everything. If you're going off what I'm doing or saying, always kind of like, you know, do your own checking, because as you guys know, I'm a bit of a hack, learning as I go. All right, I'll put all this back together and then we'll see what's next. So basically, I put it all back together. All I can do now is start the bloody thing and make sure no oil leaks out of it. That I've done everything up. It's still going to have that same bloody sound because I didn't adjust the tappets. Let that run for a minute and make sure now the oil's coming out. Looks pretty bloody good. Still noisy, but I don't know what that noise is. We'll just pull it apart now and worry about it when we get it all back together. Hopefully it is something, you know, one of the nuts or a bit of metals just doing a bit of a noise. Otherwise we've got to go deeper into the motor to maybe see. Someone out there, one of you guys might even bloody, with the Postie bikes, might hear that noise and go, oh, I know what it is, it's the cam tension of bloody chain or something, I don't know. Worst case scenario, I just take it to Elliott Brothers, which is the Honda dealer here in Bendigo, and say, hey, fix it. I've got to make sure this bike is in good condition for now, obviously. Alright, I think that's it. That's all I'm going to do with this video. It's just a quick one. Because the next thing is we're just going to pull it apart. We might do a bit of a time-lapse photo of me and Nate ripping all the parts off. Just because we can. Alright guys, keep on riding.